Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new silver team that I want to show you guys. This is from my boy Danny Fisher. I'm not sure if he got it from anywhere else, but I know that I'm getting it from him specifically. He has a really sick team to work with, and we're going to be taking a look at each one of these cards. So, in the goalkeeper position, we will be using Butland's card, right? So Butland, obviously a freaking monster in previous FIFAs. Don't think it's going to be any different in regards to this year's game because he's a 6'5" player, a 6'5" player with pretty good stats in regards to diving, reflexes, positioning for a silver card. Not necessarily too bad, right? The next player we're gonna have here is Konza. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Konza with 74 base pace, 71 defense, 72 physical. Very good stuff right there. If we take a look at all of his in games, if you decide to give him a shadow chemistry style, you're actually looking at a very good center back again with 82 acceleration, 86 sprint speed, with very good defensive stats as well. Next up, we are going to have Mengi or Mengi's card. Mengi, we're going to call him Mengi. Manchester United player, 78 for pace, 64 for defense, 68 for physical. With silver players, what you want to focus on the most with certain areas of the pitch is pace, right? So when you have the pace, because the shooting is significantly better in regards to midfielders and attackers, having pace in your team is very important, especially with this year's game in regards to how people move across the pitch, right? So with Mengi's player card stats, shadow chemistry style looks really nice on him, right? 82 acceleration, 92 sprint speed with great defensive stats, again, for a center back. This guy and Indica, something like that, the Bundesliga center back, that's French. These two guys have been the best silver center backs that I've used so far for this objective, or the Silver Lounge objective. So really good stuff right there. Next up, we are going to have Brunet's card, right? Brunet is 1,100 coins. Just going to make sure we switch this formation for you guys here. It's going to be for the 4-5-1, right? So Brunet, very good left back, 85 pace with 70 base defending and 69 base physical stats. So obviously, again, most of these cards you're going to be giving a hunter or a shadow to for sure. But a shadow chemistry style, again, makes this card really nice in left back position, considering he is a 5'11 player with a lean body type. Very helpful for silver squads. Next up, we're going to have Livermore playing in that center mid position, one of the CDMs / center mids, depending on how you want to line up with your team. Because you guys know the way that we do teams here is we always try to make them as rotational as possible, right? It's very ideal to have two players that can always play two center mids, two CDMs, or whatever, right? Because one of your attacking players, if you switch to like a 4-1-2-2, you can just put one of those attacking players as your center mid, but you have the defensive and somewhat attacking oriented midfielders in the other areas, right? So at Liverpool, we're looking at a high medium work rated player with 62 for pace, 71 for defense, and 79 for physical. So again, for a silver card, pretty good stuff. With the shadow chemistry style, actually looks pretty solid as well, right? So it's all about having that physical presence, man. He's a big, stocky dude in game as well, which is very helpful in that CDM center mid position. Next up, we are going to have Chowdhury's card. This is the Leicester City prospect, right? Chowdhury. This card looks really nice as well. Obviously, with the shadow chemistry style as well, because we're playing him in the midfield position. He looks pretty good. But for base card stats, 72 acceleration, 67 for sprint speed. But the thing with this card is that his base card stats for 76 defense and 76 for physical, really nice for a card like this, right? And again, the shadow chemistry style, boosting the pace as much as possible, boosting the defense as much as possible. Look at this card's defensive stats as well as his pace stats. It actually makes a lot of sense that he's a 6.7k card in this game. Next up, we are going to have Salvi Sanchez, right? So Salvi Sanchez is a pretty decent card as well, mostly because of the fact that he has the 91 pace. Now with a card like this, because he already has good base card stats for pace, this is the card you want to give a finisher chemistry style to. With silver cards, again, and with most cards in this game, once you already have the base pace stats, you don't necessarily need to give them a hunter. It just really depends on how the card is formatted, right? Both 91 acceleration, 91 sprint speed, it should be perfectly fine considering he is a three-star player with the finishing and shot power that he has, the dribbling boost that he'll get. He looks like a pretty solid card. Even without the finisher chemistry style, you can see that he still has 79 agility with 86 bounce while being a 5'9" player. Next up, we are going to have a gameplay objective card, right? Which is someone you guys can still get in your teams, and that is Shea Adams card, right? So Shea Adams, we're gonna be playing in the cam position. This is going to be one of the strikers, potentially the cam in the team, in a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2 formation, whatever, right? Very, very good card. We already did the review for a card like this. With him, for me personally, it's a combination of either giving him a finisher or a marksman chemistry style, because a marksman chemistry style to boost his reactions as much as possible could be a very ideal situation. But with finisher, you are drastically improving the shooting aspect on the card, but you're also improving his dribbling and agility stats as much as possible. But to get a little bit of extra physical, wouldn't necessarily be bad to give him a marksman as well. So pretty good stuff there. Up top, we have the only Akinfenwa's card. This card has been an absolute monster to use for the silver objectives because of the fact that his base card stats for a silver card is absolutely insane, right? With this card, we gave him a hunter chemistry style as well, so you just kind of deal with the fact that his dribbling is not necessarily going to be the most responsive. However, with this card on the low work rates, getting behind instruction, sometimes even balance, but getting behind kind of like forces better runs out of him, the card is really fun to use because against silver players, the dribbling is not that big of a deal because of the fact that this card, making those runs in behind with the getting behind instruction, got to really force that part in there. He's so strong. He's so physically strong that when someone is trying to outbody a card like this that is as stocky as he is and as much physical stats as he has, shooting, pace stats, the card's an absolute monster, man. The biggest thing with this card is the fact that he already has base 90 shot power with 80 finishing. It's incredibly noticeable in the game, man. The shots that this guy is going to take against silver goalkeepers is going to be absolutely insane, right? Right back position, we're going to have Pablo, what's his name? Pablo Maffeo? Something like that, Pablo Maffeo. But with this card, we get that green link to the right mid in our team, obviously, with a 91 pace. With Pablo Maffeo, obviously, another card you would probably give a Shadow Chemistry style to because of his base pace stats. But even if you don't give chemistry styles to any of these guys, the way that the team is set up in general without any chemistry styles is already significantly better than what people are usually using for the Silver Lounge objectives, because sometimes people just want to do the gold upgrades, so they put their silver players into the silver upgrade to get the gold players, and then the gold players into the gold upgrade and go from there, right? So a lot of people won't even have these cards, but if you want to give them shadow chemistry styles or hunters or finishers, it's entirely up to you. But obviously with a shadow, we're looking at a very good card here as well. Again, very, very cheap team for just doing some gameplay objectives here and there. Last up, we have Kluivert's card, right? So Kluivert is a 4.6k card, gets those links with the Bundesliga players. So you can see here that we work with the Dutch and Bundesliga links with him and Burnett. We have a player here with 88 pace, 80 dribbling, 71 for shooting. This card looks absolutely phenomenal. His base card stats for dribbling as a silver player is already pretty good. So if you were to give him a hunter chemistry style with decent shooting capabilities, pace through the roof, right? And he has the 4-star capabilities playing on a 5'7" height. Again, as a silver player, you're looking at some very good stuff. So with this team, there's so much you can kind of line up with, right? So let's just say, for instance, you want to line up with a 4-2-2. You can totally do that, right? 4-2-2, Livermore with Chowdhury playing through the middle, right? What I wanted to see here, because I never checked this out, is this guy has a 3-star weak foot, and then Livermore over here has a 2-star weak foot. So it doesn't really matter where you place them. If anything, you can actually do this, because I think the balance would be better like that. But if you want to line up with a 4-2-2, you could totally do that. If you want to line up with a 4-1-2-2 as well, you can totally do this as well. With Childry's card, he has to be your CDM. So Livermore you'd put on the right side. Both defensive and somewhat attacking-oriented players, but it's this attacking-oriented player that you would keep up top, right? Or Clivert up top with Adams over here and Clivert through the cam position. Salvi Sanchez can play in that left center mid position really well. If you want to switch to a 4-3-3, you could totally switch to a 4-3-3 as well. Clivert would play over here, use the pace on the sides, right? So Adams on the side, Salvi on the sides, and you would have Akinfenwa as a striker. And then last but not least, if you wanted to use like a 4-4-2, very, very similar situation as well, where you put the midfielders playing through the middle, Sanchez on the right side with Clivert on the left. So some pretty cool stuff to work with in regards to a very, very nice silver team that actually offers you a lot if you want to go ahead and do these gameplay objectives. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video today. I will catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.